GreenHeart Consulting.
Sorry?
Let's begin by talking about what you do.
Uh-huh. Well, I am actually a business owner. I have GreenHeart Consulting. It is a small consultancy company, consultancy and training in tourism with focus on inclusive sustainability, responsible development, and customer service excellence. Um, so I've been in the tourism industry since 1993, so it's been a long time. And it is basically a very much a tailored personal service for small to medium companies and destinations. But we're particularly focusing on inclusive sustainability to implement change through all aspects of activity. And it's primarily, a very simple mission statement, so to speak. Do good by being the change you want to see. So that's really in short. So yes, consultancy and training. Now, my business has been on ice, so to speak, for a little while due to my health issues, and that meant that as I was getting better, I worked for a little while for a large international corporation. So it was actually in January when I decided it was time to get back to my business. And so I quit the job with the big corporation, which the timing was right for me, getting ready for this season, etc. However, just as I ended my contract at the end of January and I was preparing my business to restart again, the coronavirus struck. And that meant I have found myself in a situation where I am not able to advertise my business and, get back to business as usual. So yeah, it has definitely affected me in a great way.
So when you found out about coronavirus breaking out in Wuhan, did you expect it to take this huge a stature and become a pandemic?
I did. I didn't expect that it might be actually affecting pretty much the entire world. But when I noted that Wuhan was put into quarantine, into full lockdown, that's when I realized it's really time to for the tourism industry to get note, and for the governments, and to start following suit in terms of becoming very rigorous at entry points into the country. However, we didn't see that, and I was hoping that the tourism businesses, especially larger corporations, would have been smarter and quicker in their decision making. Unfortunately, yet again, we did not see that.
So you did mention that you work with a lot of small and medium business companies, right?
Yes.
So, of course, while we understand that COVID has affected industries on a global scale, I think we can safely say that it is mostly the small and medium companies which is going to bear the maximum amount of brunt of the outbreak. So, how do you think those companies can cope up with it once, hopefully, we get back to normal?
Well, when we do get back to normal, but I do believe that's going to actually take a while. I think we're not going to see a summer season as we should. That would be very ambitious. So I don't predict a return to normality before September. Anything before that would be very generous and optimistic, and I would like to be optimistic. So I am hoping I'm wrong in my prediction. Is of course here in Europe, the season is vital, the summer season, especially for the Mediterranean countries. I'm from Croatia originally, but I'm based in the UK. And we are already feeling the impact badly, very badly. But you see, when it comes to return to normality, and if we do, when we do, I would certainly not want to see a return to business as usual, because we cannot go back to business as usual. And there are a number of reasons for that, for sure. But when it comes to small businesses, I would say that even before they get back to trying to recuperate and get back to business, trying to win back their customers, etc. There is a way, of course, to keep going through this crisis as well. Keep going in terms of building, humanizing their relationships, engagement with their customers, with their clients, be it business to business or be it business with direct public. So certainly, I would say that if they are not particularly, what I found is that many small businesses are not internet ready, you see. And especially, I am sure that this is something, you see, a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, is based in India, in the Noida Valley. And from her activity and my cooperation with her, I have found she is really working with grassroots businesses right at the basic level. And many of these businesses don't have any representation online. And some of them have very, very limited opportunities in that sense. So, of course, those businesses that do have the opportunities, they should really get themselves at least onto the internet, where, if they have the chance. If they don't have the funds, then local community, as in local councils, local governments, they should be providing the opportunity for small businesses to get online. That is a lifeline for small businesses right now.
Right.
And that would mean if a small business is internet ready, then they can start providing, even if it's little YouTube videos, social media engagement, communicate with their clients, do online seminars, webinars, whatever, anything that makes them visible and gives an opportunity for continuous conversation, for storytelling about what they do, and hopefully making sure that their clients remain engaged until it's time for these clients to remain their customers or become new customers. So this is obviously a bridging point. That is where I see travel and tourism small businesses to actually make use of the tools, especially as they have to be careful with money, with cash flow, using social media engagement as a free opportunity to keep going, basically, to keep being seen and heard. And once that bridging situation is over, hopefully by the end of this corona crisis, I would say that post-pandemic, they really would need to rethink and obviously they need to prepare for the situation post-coronavirus. So aside from using the online signature, so to speak, they should be rethinking their business to be basically building in resistance and for a future possible crisis. And this pandemic is definitely teaching us something very, very important. And that is that sustainability and responsible development should be built in deeply into the core of the business. Every single business, it's not just for big corporations, it's not just for small businesses, it's for everybody.
Of course. So coming to the part where you mentioned building upon client relationships, of course, now it's a very precarious time period that we are living in. So what would you suggest that every consultancy should keep in mind while, talking and maintaining relationships with their clients without, of course, treading on a sore toe?
Yes, I would certainly, the first thing that I would suggest is that, well, actually, the first point are not the clients. The first point of care are their own staff. If they have employees, They are the most important assets they have. And taking care of their employees, even if they're not, small businesses around the world are getting closed day by day. Small businesses are having to let their employees go. If they're able to somehow, if not keep their employees fully paid throughout this crisis, but at least to find ways of supporting them emotionally as well as financially where they can, that is the first point that they should be taking care of, and the most important one, because in good times everybody's fighting for the best employees.
Yeah.
In the bad times we are getting rid of everybody, and that's not the way to go. It's actually trying to win that trust with your own staff. So that is definitely the very first point, I would say, before anything else in that situation.
So just moving on, coming to
Yeah.
you. So how have you been going on with your work, and what are the things that you're kind of doing to keep afloat?
Yeah, well, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I have had to rely on my reserves. I have had to rely on what I've already had. Luckily, I don't have employees as such. I have partners in my business who I work with as and when it's necessary. So it's a partnership in that sense. And what we do, we communicate, we support each other. But we always have done that, and this is a time when you're in a crisis. This is a time when these relationships are really coming forward, and this is what you rely on most. And I know that our friendship and business relationship is going to become even stronger on the other end of this. So this is the main part. When it comes to my business, I am actually going through, and this is what I would suggest to other small businesses. I am reviewing my business plan. I am reviewing my practices. I am taking care of weaknesses that may be within my business or myself. So I'm looking at opportunity now, with having more time on my hands where I'm not out there advertising my business. I'm looking at how to improve my practice,
All right.
and that is definitely something that can then help when I'm reviewing my business. I'm certainly aware of my own weaknesses that I can do my best to improve. However, I'm also looking at, well, is my business plan really going to remain the same? It has to be resilient and bulletproof in the years to come, not only in good times, but also in a crisis. So I will be making big changes in that sense. And I would certainly invite other small businesses to look at it in the same way.
Again, coming back to sustainable and inclusive tourism,
Mhm.
after COVID-19 successfully, hopefully
Yes.
gets over and business worldwide restores to normal, what kind of advice would you have, not only for small and medium businesses, but also for tourism boards all across the world, so that they adapt more practices which do
Mhm.
focus on inclusive and sustainable tourism? Any message in that regard?
Yes. So first of all, I would. I mean, I mentioned I would certainly, for tourism boards, for destinations. It would certainly be small, medium, large businesses, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Implementing inclusive, sustainable, responsible practices in the core of the business is vital. Now, of course, that means procedures. That means supporting indigenous communities, protect biodiversity and nature through tourism. So tourism cannot go back to business as usual. It does mean that I would say tourist boards, destination leaders should be demanding very much support from stakeholders that are coming into the local community with their business, demanding from them fully to be fully engaged in terms of benefits to the local community and to the local environment. That is the most important point that I can make. Aside from that, of course, as a business, I'm also providing and working on sustainability certification with Green Globe. I'm sure you know of Green Globe.
Yes, yes.
And of course, I would, in any case, clearly there are plenty of different types of certification in terms of sustainability, but I would certainly invite all businesses as well as destinations, as well as tourist boards especially, to take lead in encouraging their local businesses and them as tourist boards themselves to go through the process of sustainability certification to remain accountable to themselves and to the public. And of course, with continuation to their workforce. At the moment, considering that we're going through a very, very taxing time for every individual, then I would say that there should be a very important activity on the side of leaders in the community as well as tourist boards in looking how to help their small and medium businesses in their community, in their area, how to support their workforce, but especially in terms of mental health impact. Now, inclusive sustainability must include care about mental health. It must include everyone who is vulnerable in any case. So disability, etc., all of this is part of the greater picture of inclusive sustainability. And coronavirus pandemic is creating something of a situation in which we can find ourselves with many of our tourism workers with PTSD in terms of all these worries, because this is not only worries from, am I going to be alive tomorrow, but also to elementary survival. Yes. And what is happening tomorrow. So all these fears are going to create a situation for the entire workforce. It could be leaders, it could be their employees. So the local destination, whichever destination it is, and their tourist boards, they should be taking lead in that aspect as well.
Of course, I certainly agree with you on that, and I very much echo your opinion that mental health during such a big crisis should deserve the attention it needs, and we should work towards a very cohesive sort of coping mechanism where we all look at and focus on all those little intricate details. So coming to the last part of the interview, any message that you would have for the travel community?
Well, I think we should take a leaf out of from the indigenous peoples' leaders, and what they say is climate change is already around us. Climate change is the one that can encourage the emergence of diseases such as the coronavirus, and as a result of that, we have to be absolutely adamant in protecting our planet.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Sneshka. And I hope that everyone who watches this video on our channel learns a lot from it. It was a pleasure talking to you today. I will have the video shared with you as and when we have it up on our channels. We'll also be putting it across our social media channels, and I'll send the final edited file to you. It would be a great pleasure if you also share it amongst your circle.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I will be happy. I didn't realize it will be a video as such. So thank God I did. I sorted myself out a little bit, but so I'm not in pajamas. But I was going to say I will most definitely be very happy to share as much as I can, and I would certainly suggest to speak to perhaps even to my friend in Noida Valley. She may be giving you even better information than I can.
That would be great. I can, if you just share her contact with me, I can get on a call with her and I can definitely speak to her or him. So
Yeah,
that's great.
Jayanthi, she's a wonderful person. She's
All right.
the twin sister I never had.
Awesome.
So whatever she tells you, I would have told you the same. And I will ask her for permission and then I will email you the details.
Certainly, certainly. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Stay safe, and I hope we connect at a time which is better than our current situation, and we all go back to our normal lives, and
Exactly.
start doing things better, start taking more responsibility, and in general, start behaving as better human beings and take care of our planet.
Well, anyway, I am very, very happy to talk to you,
Me
and I
too.
hope
Me too.
I hope this was useful,
It
and
was.
I hope it gives a little bit of maybe a kick up the bum, if not a little bit of inspiration to some other business.
It's going to be very inspiring. I'm very sure of that. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
and you take care and stay safe.
I will. I will. Bye.
Bye.